Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you on the blog about something that's kind of heavy on my heart. I'm sure I've mentioned it before in my first blog, but I went through a miscarriage a couple of years ago, and although it was really early, it was still a significant loss for me. I was pretty emotionally upset by it. I know that I wasn't ready to be a mom 2 years ago. I was still in college. I was not married. I didn't have my life together fully like I do now, but it didn't make it hurt any less. And it was at about 9, 10 weeks that it happened, and the baby was there was no baby in the sack basically. I think I said that in another video, but basically I had gotten pregnant. I saw the positive result. I went for my first ultrasound to hear my baby's heartbeat, and I brought my now husband along and my sister. And when we were sitting in the chair, they pull the screen up, and I don't know what that looks like. I'm trusting the doctors, and so they're scanning along and they're seeing what's going on. And when they got to the part where you're supposed to hear the heartbeat, I didn't hear anything. And so I was like, "Well, is it too early? Like, you won't be able to hear it?" And he's like, "Oh, well, it looks like you're not as far as long as you thought you were, and so you're gonna need to come back in a couple weeks." And I said, "No, as far along as I am. I know how far along I was because I haven't had sex with anybody." And that time period was when we did have sex, and we broke up after that, and that's why this is really awkward. But because my husband and I went through a brief period where we were broken up as a couple, and that's when I found out I was pregnant. I'm like, wonderful. And the tragedy ended up kind of bringing us back together. But anyways, so I was like, I know the day that I conceived. And so the technician, who's the doctor, he had said, "I think you're mistaken." I said, "I think not." And then he couldn't explain to me why that would be. And then I went to another doctor for a second opinion, a second ultrasound on my own, because I didn't want to kind of bring that sadness to anybody else. And when I went to the other doctor, he explained to me what the other doctor saw. And he said, he was very clear about it. And he was like, "Here is the sac that the baby is supposed to go into, and there's nothing in it." He's like, you're what's called a miscarriage. That's a non-medical term for it, but basically, you're gonna miscarry the rest of the sac soon, if not being, and you could induce the miscarriage now, and or you can wait for it to happen. Because there's no baby inside, and it's already at a 6 to 7 week period. The sac is developing without the baby in it. And so it'll eventually go out of your system, but you could possibly just get it over with now. And so, that happened. And, it was really sad. I wasn't ready, but I still wanted a baby. It's something like when you get told you're pregnant, you just start, okay, this is my new reality. And you get your whole life kind of moving in that direction. And then I was halted. I was just halted from, going forward. I wasn't the same person after the pregnancy that I was before. And so it was really hard. That being said, we had to induce the miscarriage. All that happened. My husband and I came together because of that. And he was really there for me in a way that he had never showed that he was there for me before. And it really changed our relationship dynamic, and we were much stronger after that. And we got back together and stayed together for years. But yeah, it's rough. So now that I'm going through trying to conceive, a couple years later, we're married now. We have a nice home. We have an extra bedroom for a nursery. Like, everything's ready. That room's empty. We've done everything to get ready for a baby, and we're at that point where we want to try. And we've been trying for about, 8 months now, and 3 months with the pills. And it doesn't make it any easier. Like, that miscarriage or miscarriage has been heavy on my mind for this whole time. And it's really hard not to think about it, and not to think that all this trying could end up being the same kind of thing. And I know that's really negative, but that's how I think. And the empty room, my guest room, that's supposed to be the nursery when the baby comes. We don't want to put anything in there because, we want to anticipate getting pregnant soon. But the reality is it's an empty room for now. And so it's just kind of depressing. And I've just been, dealing with my mother. My mom, she buys a lot of baby stuff and like hoards it. She's so excited. She wants to be a grandma so bad. And it's kind of, it's upsetting because I think when I think about that experience and how it was, I feel like I can't fully be happy. Like even if I were to find a pregnancy stick that said positive, I don't think that I'd celebrate it until outside of my first trimester. I think this experience, like, it's robbed me of my joy of first discovery. And I don't know, it's really hard to deal with. It's hard to talk about with people. And I feel like no one really gets it. Like, people who I talk to about it, they don't really get it. Friends who I share with, like, they try to understand, but it's like no one really gets it until you've actually gone through it, and it's just really hard. So I was just thinking about it today. Like, I was going through a thrift store, and there was a bunch of stuff that I thought would be cute in like a girl nursery, and I wanted to buy it, but I didn't want to buy it because I was scared that it might jinx it or something, or that if I were to be happy about trying to conceive, that would put some kind of energy out that maybe it won't stay. So, sorry. Basically, I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys because I don't know if anybody has gone through something like that and then trying to conceive after, but it's really hard. And people say relax and just let it happen and it'll be natural, but it's really hard not to let conceiving a baby take over your entire world. I think about it all the time. And I try to, like, not think about it. I actively do things to not think about it, but it still comes up. And all my friends have children, and interacting with them, it's hard not to want to push yourself. And there's only this small little time period where you can try to conceive. So I don't know. It's just really rough. And I'm just really scared that if I do find out I'm pregnant, like this cycle or next or whenever it happens, I won't be able to find that joy again that was there the first time when I found out I was pregnant. After the initial shock, I was really happy, and I don't know if that happiness is going to come back. I really hope it does, but for right now, it's just I'm putting up a wall internally, and basically I don't want to jinx myself. I won't buy any baby stuff. I won't, even if I see something really cute, I won't save it. I'm really scared that my mom's buying stuff for baby because I feel like in the back of my mind, I'm like, what if I can't ever get pregnant? Like, what if this is how it is? And, of course we can adopt, but then in the meantime, that does take time, and we're trying now, and, after 2 years or so of trying to conceive, then we'll consider adoption. But then there's a period after that. I might not have a child till I'm 30. And my mom, in the meantime, is like collecting all this memorabilia, basically, and like a crate. It's not like little stuff. It's not like clothing you can just stuck in a chest. Like, she's legitimately collecting like cribs and bassinets and playpens and crazy stuff. And I'm like, do you know how much pressure that's putting on me? Like, it's so hard to just like deal with the thought that she's like that amped up about it, and I want to talk about it, but I don't want to be overwhelmed with it. So anyways, that's just something I wanted to share with you. I'm just dealing with the thoughts of when you're trying to conceive after you've had a miscarriage before. My miscarriage was very, very early. I know a lot of women on blogs, they had much later miscarriages. There's no loss. Just for people who haven't gone through a miscarriage, it doesn't matter when it happened. It's still a loss. Like, you still feel it. And although late-term miscarriages are a lot more tragic and take a lot longer to get over, there's still like that same amount of I lost a child. Like, there was somebody growing in me, and it just didn't like go through with it. Like, that could have been a person. And I think people who haven't gone through a miscarriage, they just do not get it. So that's my spiel. I wanted to just kind of open up to you guys about how I'm feeling. It's been kind of an emotional day. I'm on day 9 cycle of, so I have my last pill of Clomid, and the Clomid side effects have been making me really emotional, like really emotional, and so I think it might be the Clomid, but nevertheless, still really wanted to open up to you guys. If you have a story and you'd like to share, or if you've gone through what I've gone through, or if you have any words of encouragement, that would be much appreciated. Go ahead and leave it in the comments, or just thank you for listening, because it's just nice to just talk to somebody, because people who search these blogs out, they're also looking for answers, so that it's like you're relating to somebody who's a lot and it's in the same headspace as you. And so just opening up to this camera is really helping me deal with these kind of emotions and how I'm feeling without having to burden other people in my life. And I don't really think that there's necessarily an understanding there. So thank you for being my people and for listening, even if it's just 2 of you or 50 of you. Thank you for listening, and it means a lot.